Ladies and gentlemen, finally, KingTy has come back to Over the Rope Sports, and it is our debut for 2020, and we are here better than ever, more readier than ever, and it's time to get this thing underway. Today I have a very special debut episode. It is the very first episode of Washington Weekly without the politics, hosted by me, of course, KingTy. I'm here with all the great district sports talk, and I'm ready to get this party underway. But before I do so, I just have a couple things to say. First of all, I want to make an announcement. It is my proudest moment to announce that we are now streaming officially on iHeartRadio at Over the Rope Sports. Check us out, but that's not all. We're on also Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcast, at Over the Rope Sports. Search us up, subscribe to our podcast audio, and listen to what we got coming out for you all. But that's not the only thing. We are now on YouTube, as you all can see me right now. Search up Over the Rope Sports. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Share our page around. Let everyone know that this is our year and you all are ready to follow behind us. And then my last announcement here real quick is check out our website. We have a website now where all the videos will be posted, where all the audio will be posted, where eventual articles will be posted. www.overtheropesports.com. Search it in your search bars, click go, scroll through, find all the good OTR content that you've all been waiting for. With that being said, it is time to get into our first episode right now. To start off today, I'm going to talk about the Washington Capitals. My beloved hockey team. We're doing good. I'm not going to lie. We're doing good. We're at 36, 15, and 5 right now. It's a steady season. We're in February where the moment with the Capitals is, for some reason, all a little bit of a rough patch. We kind of go through a spell in February, but it's not that bad. We're at 77 points. We lost our first place spot a couple days ago. Like I said, with our little rough patch, Saturday against the Flyers, we took a hard hit, 7-2 loss. And then Monday against the Islanders, we took another hard hit, 5-3 loss. I think that our main problem right now, or one of our biggest problem, is the lack of defense. For some reason, we haven't figured out our defensive lines. We can't really figure out exactly what we need to go on to keep the puck away from the goal, our goal. And then also too many turnovers is another big problem. And then lack of effort on the power plays. I think that if we clean those three things up, we could be a much more solid team and do a lot more better than we are right now. Some of our shining players, of course, Alex Ovechkin. He's the leading goal scorer. He's at 40 goals so far this season. As you all know, we're going for the OV goal record. We're still looking for 700. He's currently sitting 8th of all time with 698 goals. To go to 7th, he'll have to get 708. That'll catch up Mike Gardner. But I think right now another issue that I have to bring up is the focus on OV 700 affecting our play as a whole when it comes to our team. And I think that is also another big issue with us right now. I think if we just let it happen naturally, like we have been, instead of trying to force the puck into Ovi's hands, force that 700th goal to happen, everything will go smoothly. It'll happen naturally. You can all celebrate. But I think we really just need to worry about playing offense, getting the goal into the net, scoring points, putting points on the board, and actually winning games. It's kind of caused a little distraction. It's not a huge big deal, but I've thought that it might be a little distraction. Also, the alternative jerseys, the third jerseys, got to get rid of them. It's seeming like more bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. Burn them, do something. Got to get rid of them. But with Ovi's goal, like I said, he's on pace for, I'd say, probably about 60 goals still this year. If he was to score 60 goals, that would put him at 718 total. Like I said, right now he's at 40, so he needs 20 more. And that would also put him in 6th overall, passing Phil Esposito, which he's sitting at 717. So that's definitely something we need to look at. Straightening up our defense, not worrying about forcing the 700th goal, more effort on the power plays, less turnovers, and just better overall play. And then when it comes to goalies, Ilya Samsonov, he's played in 23 games. He's taken 590 shots and only allowed 49 goals. And then you got Braden Holtby. He's played in 38 games, taken 1,070 shots and allowed 113 goals. Goalie has been kind of a question for us so far right now this season. I know people are at Holtby's back, and it's kind of seeming like he's lazy. And when you have a lazy defense, you need a strong goalie. But when you have a lazy defense and a lazy goalie, things turn bad, like a 7-2 loss to the Philadelphia Flyers, like we experienced Saturday. I think that the goalies really have to play on their heads, especially if the defense isn't. We need to clamp down. I'm not 100% worried about it, but if we straighten up everything in the goal, straighten up everything on the defensive side of the ice, I believe this team can be a lot better and sailing to the playoffs, possibly another Stanley Cup run for us, but I don't want to jinx anything, knock on wood. Our next game is tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. against the Avalanche. That's going to be a tough one. We're going on the road. This is really where we're going to be tested. This road trip is how it's going to make or break our team. We need to get our heads back on our bodies. We need to pay attention to the game. We need to clean up our game, and we need to play that good Capitals hockey that we know how to play. With that being said, I think our future is looking still bright this season. We're about midway through the season. I believe that we can take, of course, possibly, I don't really see a challenge for the Metropolitan Division right now. I think we'll be okay with that if we keep playing like we are. And then, like I said, could be a possible President's Trophy, even though President's Trophy kind of brings maybe some bad luck to us. So I wouldn't mind us not having that spot. But either way, if we put our heads on, get tightened up, get our game cleaned, I think we're going to be sailing good for this season. So, that's the Capitals. Next up, we're going to talk about a little bit of basketball. The Washington Wizards. Another team is we're experiencing a little downfall with right now, as the Redskins were previous season. And then with the Wizards, we're just having a little struggle point. John Wall still injured. We're battling a little injuries here and there. Currently, we're sitting at 9th in the Eastern Conference at 19-33. The Orlando Magic is 8th at 23-31. So there's a possibility that we still have chance to get that 8th seed. It just is a matter of fact of, are we going to click as a team in whole? One of the Wizards' biggest problems this year, it isn't the offense. We're putting points on the board. We're scoring. We're moving the ball around fairly well. We have zero defense. Just like the Capitals. Another problem, defense. The Wizards have no defensive game at all. We can't be allowing these 150 points against us, 120 points against us, so on and so forth. We need to clamp down on defense. If we play a defensive battle, our offense is going to do the work and be just fine. And that's what I'm experiencing with the Wizards. We beat the Bulls yesterday, 126-114. It was a good game. We have a good team. It's just if we clamp down our defense, we would be a lot better. Like I said, there's still a possible running for that 8th seed. Our next 5 games, we got the Knicks, the Cavs, the Bulls rematch, the Bucks, and the Nets. So we have a possibility to win 4 of the next 5 games. So honestly, this team is still in the running. I wouldn't say completely out of it or completely a lottery pick, but we'll just have to see what happens. Now, the offseason, we made a couple of moves, a couple of changes that might help us out. We got Shabazz Napier from the Nuggets for Jordan McRae. We shipped over Jordan, got Napier back, or brought Napier to Washington. And then we also took Jerome Robinson. We got him from the Clippers for IT. We traded Isaiah Thomas. And then also it was a three-way trade between the New York Knicks, the draft rights for Isuf Sonon. It was a three-way trade. So that's a nice addition for a point guard and a nice addition for a shooting guard to our team. Getting some more scores, a little more defensive plays. I mean, for a point guard, we still have the Ish Smith, and we're fine when it comes to the point. But just a couple key things that I like to see added to the team. Another thing that I want to talk about, and now this is probably going to be the last thing I talk about when it comes to the Wizards. Bradley Beal, All-Star snub. Yes, I said it. Bradley Beal got snubbed from the 2020 All-Star game. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know Washington fans all around the community, y'all are feeling it with me. It sucks. It stinks. It's terrible. Biggest snub in history since the 1980s. How does a player that scores and averages over 29 points a game not get selected in the All-Stars? I guess it has to do with the voting with the teams and the fans and the coaches and all of that. But other than that, Beal is a player. Yeah, our team's not that great this year, but Beal is balling out. In comparison, Bradley Beal's last 11 games, this is his stats. 35.1 points per game. 4.1 rebounds per game, and 6 averages per game. Those are all-star stats. 35 points per game in the past 11 games, and he's not an all-star? You got to be kidding me. But to brighten the mood, he did get selected for the Olympic team, so shout out to Bradley Beal for that. Congratulations. Go show him what kind of Olympic star you are, since they won't let you be an all-star. It's all good. Wizards, they got a chance. They can keep on rolling. They can do their thing, possibly shoot for that 8th seed. Luckily, maybe even pull the upset against the Bucks in the first round if we get a defensive game rolling. Might be reaching for the sky there, but anything's possible when it comes to basketball. I think if this team really clamps down, gets their stuff together on defense, we would be a lot more better. And then either way, I'm really excited for next season when John Wall comes back and a Wall and Beal pairing, and them two can ball out again. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, our next topic. The Washington Redskins. Ah, yes. The Washington Redskins, we have made a lot of moves, as you all know. It is officially a new era in Landover. It's a new era for the Washington Redskins. The culture has officially changed. Bruce Allen, gone. Jay Gruden, he's been gone. We got a new head coach in town, boys. Ron Rivera, former head coach for the Carolina Panthers, is now the new Washington Redskins head coach. Took a little while. We got him signed. Biggest probably coach available on the market. And we snagged him up, which really makes me happy to see, because it tells me that he sees something in our program, in which he has said that he does. He's also made quite a few changes to our staff. We kind of cleaned shop. As I said, Bruce Allen, he took the hitch. We still don't have a president, but possible candidates, people like Kyle Smith would probably be the top candidate in my eyes. He is still going to be the director of college scouting, which is a good thing, and I think he'd make a good fit for that GM president role. Eric Schaefer, he is gone now. He is no longer the vice president. We now have Rob Rogers. Alex Santos, he's still there. Larry Haas, our head trainer, he is now gone. And we now have Ryan Vermillion. Ryan Vermillion, he's highly talked about in the league. I know some people weren't very high of him in the Redskins community just because of the whole deal. I'm guessing because, we're turning into the Carolina Washington Panthers or whatever they want to say. But Ryan Vermillion, I think he's going to bring a good asset to the training office, kind of getting our guys, making sure they're healthy, possibly working with the Trent Williams situation, which I'll talk about here in a minute, and then different things like that. We got a new offensive coordinator. Unfortunately, Kevin O'Connell is not coming back. We now have Scott Turner, who is offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. I'm actually excited about this. He did well with Kyle Allen, rookie quarterback. We've seen that he can do well when it comes to offense. He was running Christian McCaffrey. We got the back setup that he needs. We got the quarterback. We got the receivers. I personally think we got the offensive players to fit his style of offense. I'll be really interested to see how that goes. Hasn't been any reports of an assistant, I don't think, for the offense. But defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio. The Redskins will finally be going to a 4-3, which makes me super duper happy, especially with what we have going on. Jack Del Rio, wonderful defensive-minded coach along with Ron Rivera. I think our defense has that potential to be one of the best defenses in the league. And with two really defensive-minded coaches like we just brought in to lead that, it'll be very exciting to see, especially with our guys up front that we will have. Let's see. Nate Kegzor, I think he is still our special teams coordinator. Haven't heard anything about that. Our QB coach, no longer Tim Rattay. It is now Ken Zamsey, which I'm actually excited about that. He worked with Baker Mayfield his rookie year, and as you know, Baker Mayfield looked like Jim his rookie year. So I'm kind of excited to see what he does with Dwayne Haskins, see what kind of improvements he brings to him in the offense. Running back coach is still Randy Jordan. Wide receivers coach, I think the report said Jim Hostler. Tight ends coach, Pete Honer, which is very good actually because, as you know, worked with veteran tight end Greg Olson. Speaking of Greg Olson, I'll talk about him here in a minute, maybe possibly signing him as a vet tight end. I'll get into that in a later episode as well when I talk about free agents. But definitely a great-minded tight end coach that we need. John Masco for our offensive line coach. Carolina has had that kind of offensive line where they've had not the best players, but it's actually been efficient when it comes to the run game. He's dealt with injuries. He's dealt with kind of a couple difficulties here and there, but I really think that John Masco is the guy that can make an offensive line work, and I'm actually excited to see what he has to do. Sam Mills is our defensive line coach now, I believe. And then Steve Russ is our linebackers coach. And then Chris Harris as our DB coach. All these changes that we made, I'm actually really excited to see how they fit the program. This year, I'm expecting us to have I wouldn't say the best of seasons, but definitely an improvement. And that's all that matters for this year, as we are still rebuilding. Get a couple more key pieces into our offense and our defense. Get a couple more key players. Bring everything together. Kind of mesh the locker room together. Get everything formed up, straightened out like it's supposed to be. And I think we're on the road to go victory. Speaking of our future, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next thing I'll say for the Redskins this episode. I'm not going to talk about free agents this episode. I'm going to keep that for another one. But right now, I will talk about mock draft. 2020 draft, Redskins have 6 picks in the draft. We got a first round, a third round, a fourth round, a fifth round, and 2 sevenths. I went ahead earlier and made a mock draft just to test things out, see what I thought was going to happen. I'll post that on my Twitter, which you all should follow me, at OTR KingTy on Twitter. Hit the follow button. Shout me out, shout the page out. Also follow all of our pages, social medias, at Over the Ropes PC on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's where you can find all the updates, all the news, all the special announcements, all the good stuff. Like I was saying, Redskins mock draft. Here we go. We're getting into it. Round 1, pick 2. It's obvious. It's so obvious that it's not even funny. Of course, you got to go with the defensive end from Ohio State in Chase Young. That's the only option here. If we do anything else, I'm done. I'm walking out the door. I'll go do something else. I just won't watch football for a season. Just kidding, can't do that. But Chase Young, got to happen. It's a no-brainer. Round 3. This is where I got something interesting. I'm shopping for a tight end here. You know, we really don't have a tight end. Vernon Davis retired. Jordan Reed, he's really injury prone. I think he should go ahead and retire because those concussions really are taking a toll on him. With that being said, third round draft pick for the Washington Redskins, Thaddeus Moss. Son of Randy Moss. He proved himself in LSU to be a valuable tight end. He's projected to go around third round, fourth round in the draft, and I say that's exactly what we do. Now, for our next 2 picks, they can be swapped. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to happen, but luckily in my mock draft, it happened this way. I took round 4, Jack Driscoll from Auburn. He's an offensive tackle. Like I said, don't really know exactly what's going to happen with Trent Williams, so we need a backup plan just in case. He played right tackle at Auburn. He kind of, when he went into the scheme, it looked like he was playing for multiple seasons. He's a big guy, big hitter, good blocker. I think he could be a valuable addition. Get him a little more learning experience with some guy, with our head coach Masco, kind of teach him the ways, just in case Trent doesn't come back, which I'm not 100% confident that, I shouldn't say confident. I'm not 100% positive that he won't, but anything's possible, as you know, in business, and that's how it is. It's business. Football, as much as it's a sport, it's also business. Round 5, and like I said, these 2 picks can be switched, and actually when you think about it, I think they will be. In my eyes, I kind of want to, because I don't see this person falling to the 5th round, but I got lucky in my mock draft and it happened. KJ Hill, wide receiver, Ohio State. Add another wide receiver to the group, give Haskins another Ohio State guy, and make it work. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if we took KJ in the 4th round, because I honestly don't see a potential caliber athlete like he is falling past the 4th. So KJ Hill definitely at the 5th round. Take him, make it happen if he does fall that low, but if not, definitely happen at the 4th. For our 7th pick, or not 7th pick, for round 7, I'm definitely taking somebody like Tariq Castro-Fields, cornerback from Penn State. We need another cornerback, kind of add to the DBs, make that happen. He's a good addition. He's got that field range. He can play man or zone, and he can do it pretty well. So that was definitely first pick in the 7th round. I'm definitely taking him. Now for the 2nd pick in the 7th round, I'm taking somebody that, as a Hokie fan, I'm very familiar with. He's a linebacker from UVA, Jordan Mack. Jordan Mack, he's a hard hitter, good athlete, good player. Kind of was scouted as a defensive back, but he's got the body build that he can play linebacker, and he plays hard, and he hits hard too. And that's kind of what we want when it comes to this. So I'm definitely taking Jordan Mack as our last pick in the draft, and that's kind of my 6 names that I really want to see added to our roster. I'll run over those again real quick. I got Chase Young, Thaddeus Moss, Jack Driscoll, KJ Hill, Tariq Castro-Fields, and Jordan Mack. I think that's a hell of a haul for the draft, and I think that, if anything, this draft that I created, if we were to do this, it would make me happier than hell. I'm not even going to lie to you. So, wrapping things up, move on to my next topic. Football's fun. I can't wait for the Redskins season to start. I'm really excited to see how this new coaching staff, how the culture is going to change, exactly what additions we're going to bring to the cling. But I think it's going to work. Possibly. As long as we move up instead of down, that's how it's going to work. Next, and probably, well, not my last, but close to being my last, Washington Nationals. Boom. Defending World Series champions, the Washington Nationals. We've had some off-season moves. I'm just going to run over the off-season moves that we have, the big ones. As you know, the season opener is Thursday, March 26th versus the New York Mets. This is, I believe, our 2nd year in a row that we travel into New York to open the season. But yeah, so now for our big moves that we made. The biggest move, of course, Steven Strasburg. We signed Steven Strasburg, gave him his money, paid him, boom, made it happen. Also, Ryan Zimmerman. We brought him back, gave him his contract, 1 more year. I think he's going to retire after this one, but definitely a crucial spot at first base. We also re-signed Daniel Hudson. Re-signed Asdrubal Cabrera for third base. And some bigger moves that we got Eric Thames, left fielder, Starlin Castro. We got some more pitching, some relief pitching, like Will Harris and Ryan Harper. Speaking of Ryan Harper, give him number 34. You got to. Come on, guys. But yeah, that's when it comes to the Nationals. As you all know, I'm not 100% too big on baseball. When the baseball talk starts, I usually leave that up to P. Diddy. He can carry the baseball conversation more. He's kind of the baseball specialist in Over the Ropes, so I kind of leave it to him. I'm still there though, still support my guys all the way. District, DC Sports, they're my things. I love to see it, love to see the success, love to see the District of Champions coming into a whole and actually becoming a reality. Now, speaking of District of Champions, we got one more opportunity to make some champions, and that is my last topic I'm going to talk about. The XFL. DC, we got a new football team, and they're starting off 1-0. Hey, isn't that nice and refreshing? A 1-0 start. The XFL DC Defenders had their very first game. We had the inaugural game against the Seattle Dragons. We won 31-19, and our team put on a performance. Our starting quarterback from Ohio State University, Big Showtime, and is still undefeated at starting as quarterback. Cardell Jones threw 16 for 26, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. He showed off. We showed off on offense. We had some trickery. He showed that he still has it at quarterback. We got some other big names like Eli Rogers. He was a receiver from Louisville, also played for the Steelers. He went 6 for 6, 73 yards, which is amazing. Our offense is really exciting me. We also have Rashad Ross. As you all know, Redskins fan, former Redskins legend Rashad Ross. He went 2 for 2, 52 yards, and a touchdown. As you all know, bringing it back home to DC, my boy Rashad. And then also our running back, you got Jarrell Presley, 12 carries for 31 yards. And then a big point, a big point for this DC Defenders team is our defense. Our defense is feisty, our defense is hungry, and they are ready to play. And now, well, this is where I say next week is time. Next week is time for the DC Defenders to shine because we face off with the New York Guardians. And looks who is going to be one of our bigger rivals in this league. Matt McGloin's their quarterback, so it's going to be good to see how the DC defense is going to work with that New York offense. Really excited. That game is at Saturday, 2 o'clock, so make sure you don't miss that out. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that was the conclusion of our very first episode of Washington Weekly Without the Politics with your host, KingTy. And I've had a blast running through all the sports in the districts with you all you DC fans, my entire DC family. I thank you all. And before I go, I'm just going to go ahead and give one last reminder of all the social medias, all the streaming sites, the YouTube. So here we go. Like I said, social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us at Over the Ropes PC. Also follow me at OTR KingTy on Twitter. To stream our podcast, you can listen to us on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. And now iHeartRadio. We got it all. Look up Over the Ropes Sports. Subscribe to us and listen to us every week, 3 times a week. And then at last, the website. Oh, wait, no. Before I get to the website, at last, the YouTube, as you can see me right here, hit the subscribe button at Over the Ropes Sports. Look us up, subscribe, drop a like on this video, leave a comment of, let's say, tell me what you think the Redskins' biggest mock draft, what's your mock draft look like for the Redskins? Give me all 6 of your picks. And then also, why don't you throw in, do you think Alex Ovechkin will reach 60 goals this season? Just make it a little fun. Drop a like. Tell me what your draft picks are for the Redskins. And also tell me if you think Alex Ovechkin will reach 60 goals this season. As always, KingTy signing off. Stay sauced.